since 401 years ago. The reason we could never be who we wanted and dreamed of being is you kept your knee on our neck. We were smarter than the underfunded schools you put us in. You had your knee on our neck. It's time for us to stand up and say, get your knee off our necks.
Welcome to Beyond the Walls, our community most talked about radio show. We're broadcasting live this morning from the Raise to Praise Media Center right here in Los Angeles, California. And I am your host, the Reverend, the Dr. KW Tulloss, pastor of the historical Weller Street Missionary Baptist Church and president of the Baptist Ministers Conference of Los Angeles and Southern California, and lifetime member and supporter of the greatest civil rights organization throughout this world, the National Action Network, where the Reverend Al Sharpton is our founder and national president. We welcome each and every one of our listeners today. We thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us live as we drive you beyond the walls to action, beyond the walls to making a difference in your community. We here, y'all. We here, June 24th, 2022. Welcome to Beyond the Walls. Give me some claps.
Hey, wait. Oh, see now.
Welcome, y'all. I'm a little.
He took me.
Yeah,
He took me.
I was
See,
trying
I was
test Pastor Howard.
He
I
was
thought he had
testing.
the clapping
Yeah, I
stuff
was
together. You know,
yeah,
we here by ourselves. I'm crewless this morning again. You know, these millennials nowadays, they got stuff to do.
Here's your claps.
There
Here's
you go.
your
Thank
claps.
you. There you go, Dr. Howard. Thank you. So I'm joined today. Oh, there was one millennial's coming in.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else is coming in. So let's give her a hand as she walks past me. Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we're here this day, and we're so grateful to each of you on today. And I had to bring my executive producer, Dr. Howard, out of retirement. The camera's on him. How you doing, Dr. Howard?
I'm doing good, but the camera's about to move. But I just want to say I enjoy being the executive producer of Beyond the Walls. I am excited about what we have to offer and what you have to offer. And as we move forward, I'm going back out so that we can get our staff on right away.
There you go. I'm so grateful again to have with us, you know, welcome back home, Ari Sheree.
Hey y'all.
Here she goes.
Hey, it's Ari Sheree. It's good to be with y'all for another
Wait a
week.
minute. Talk now.
Hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Happy to be with you all again. Hey, Pastor Smart, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. Good to have you for another week. So, y'all, let's jump into it. We have a good little topic for y'all, a good conversation to get with y'all. Let's get into it and see what's up for today.
Amen. We're so grateful again. She let the cat out the bag, but we are blessed today to have with us one who I consider one of my best friends in the whole wide world, my big brother, one who's been on the battlefield for a mighty, mighty long time. And when I was in my introduction talking about the greatest civil rights organization, he looked at me and looked like he was about to throw a pin at me, something like that. But we're so happy to have with us today, and I know we got some claps getting ready for him, and we want to welcome the president of the Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Southern California. Amen. He's doing more in this position, working for civil rights than so many are doing around this world. And we want to welcome the Reverend Dr. William Smart. Welcome.
Thank you.
To Beyond the Walls.
Thank you. We're so honored to be here at Beyond the Walls, my first time here.
This your first time in the studio with me?
Yes, and here, but we've been in other settings before, and it's good to be here with you, Pastor Howard, and my dear young millennial over there.
listen, I'm just so happy that you joined us today. I know you're doing so much, and we're going to really unpack the work and the impact that you're having in Los Angeles through Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And we're so grateful to have an organization here in our city that's doing amazing work. But before we get going, there's some hot topics, y'all. And, every week I try to give and drive you and really captivate your mind. And, I was talking to our executive producer, Ari Sheree, this morning, and I said, between now and November the 8th, I believe, is Election Day
Yes.
here in Los Angeles. And, I'm unapologetically supporting Congresswoman Karen Bass. And
Yes, sir.
a few weeks ago, Pastor Smart, I was pretty upset, after the primary of her
Yes.
being down in the polls. And last week, I had to really apologize to our listeners because it seems as if they got out the vote the day of the vote. And just to report, Karen, we're going to have the Karen report. Hopefully, Pastor Howard gets some a sound effect.
Yeah, we'll
So what?
Something of that matter. There you go. Karen report. There we go.
Yes,
Listen, and
yes.
the Karen report, this week, our wonderful Congresswoman, she's leading in the polls. Leading in the election.
Final count.
Was it the final count?
Final count.
And she whooped the millionaire by over 45,000 votes.
Mm.
Right.
Ain't that good news? Give some
That's
hand
good
clap.
news. That's good news. Come on.
Hey, congratulations.
That's for the
That was for
the millionaire.
billionaire.
Yeah.
billionaire that spent $40 million.
Yeah. Say that again. How much did he spend?
For $40 million.
And he still lost. Huh?
Still lost.
$40 million to Karen, $3 million, and at the end of the day, it's going to round off to about $48 million plus the $10 million the Popos gave her. Against all odds, Pastor Smart, and I know where you stand and who you stand for, and I want to just get your opinion on, what do you feel about this election?
Well, it's moving forward. We're halfway there. And so we have to do as a community, and that is progressives and all of those who really understand the work that Karen Bass has done over the years, that we have to, number one, we got to give to the campaign. Number two, we have to exercise our right to vote, getting out the vote in a massive way. If this man can put up another 100 million,
Which he's going to do.
then what we have to do, the only thing that beats that is community organizing, community getting out, community really understanding. And again, I'm part of a coalition that we're going to have October as October election month again, like we did 2 years ago. And we intend to make sure that every African American, let's just talk about African Americans, every African American comes out and votes for Karen. And there's a lot of ways.
That includes the mail, right? Because
Yes.
I heard there was a few problems getting that message across to some of our brothers.
Oh, there's the development of an African American male emphasis that is going to take care of that. And so that will help that. But you're absolutely right. We're, 85%. We're going to have an 85% turnout within our community, and that's something we got 4 months to do it.
Well, I'm so excited again because we have an opportunity to make history. This is part of our Karen report, Karen for Karen report. We have an opportunity to make history, electing the first African American woman mayor of the city of Los Angeles. And as you say, I don't know if I'm a progressive or what, but at the end of the day, I'm so grateful, Ari Sheree, that everybody got out to vote.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're at a place now, Pastor Smart, that we're looking forward to partnering with the various groups. She said partners. Who's your partner?
Well, actually, you might have gotten the email. We're meeting for the first time tonight. It's the coalition. It's part of a coalition that we have worked with for the last 9 years as we worked around
Everything.
Yeah, everything, and including the going to the Washington D.C. and different things like that, and so the March on Washington. That's why I said that whole coalition that we're coming back together, and we're going to stay together all the way up until November.
So there's a whole lot at stake, and it's imperative that one of the things I saw from this election is obvious that our community really didn't understand that vote by mail process.
Right.
Be it we saw Pastor Howard, our executive producer, he coined the phrase and monetarized it and made it rock the box. A lot of us didn't rock the box. We rocked the box the day of, as Pastor Howard said. But what are some of the things that we're going to do to really help educate our community around this new voting process that works seemingly well in the past special election for the governor's seat?
Yes, there's going to be a percentage of people, regardless, they're going to go to election. They're going to go to the ballot box on election day. But as we're seeing the trends, more and more people are, because of the pandemic and other things, they are exercising that right. We have to get in the barbershops, the churches, of course. We have to go on the streets. We're going to have those sound trucks going up and down and around.
We've done it all.
We're going to do everything possible. The nightclubs, you name it.
You can go to the juke joint.
Oh yeah, we got to go there.
Can I tell y'all a funny story? Let me tell y'all a funny story.
Tell us.
Me and Pastor Smart, one particular Sunday afternoon, we was meeting with a local activist about some particular issues that was taking place in the community. We was trying to convince the activists, to kind of help side with us, because we wanted, I believe it was around the Crenshaw Mall sale.
Okay.
And so this activist, Pastor Harry Ari, said to me and Pastor Smart, I need you to meet me at this restaurant on Manchester. And so we go in there Sunday, so we're suited and booted. Pastor Smart is suited and booted anyway, and we get there to this restaurant, and in this restaurant, it was right there across the street from the J Spot. What's the name of that?
The serving spoon?
No,
It was the Jason.
No, it wasn't.
no,
It
you
was
talking
across
about
the
GS.
street.
Oh,
The GS.
Yeah.
You know that.
I know about the GS.
Yeah.
So it just so happened you got these
That's a
two.
bar, ain't
you
no
got-
restaurant.
listen.
That's a bar in the
You
crib.
got these two preachers, suited and booted, in the restaurant, the GS, and it just so happened to be Sunday
Afternoon.
Kickback day. And when I tell you they was partying in that place, boy, when I tell you they was trying to dance on Pastor Smart and everything else, and boy, but I'm so grateful that Sister Smart was in the car, and she knew how to shut all that stuff
right,
down. But
all right.
that was just a funny
Yeah.
moment.
We
that
ended
just
up
popped in
going
my
to
brain.
another restaurant that day because
had
we
to.
had serious business and we
An
couldn't-
actual restaurant, because
Yeah,
GS
sister.
ain't no restaurant.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
You get a good
I
burger.
mean,
You can get
got
some
that
wings.
right.
You can get a good burger. You can get good fries.
Good wings.
Some good wings.
yeah,
you
no,
know.
I'm just trying to figure out how Pastor Howard knew about the GS. But
And
listen,
Sunday night was the popping night,
and it
too.
was a popping night. that night.
Dude.
But I wanted to say, that was just my KW moment that every now and again my mind venture back to some of the fun that we've had that we can laugh about. Pastor Smart was taking off that bow tie, like, man, I'm overdressed.
No, I
But
kept
listen,
it on.
But I want to say, it's very, very important, Pastor, that we continue to work in those efforts to really get the souls
That's
to the
right.
poll.
That's right.
And I believe we're going to do any means necessary.
Any
November.
mean-
Why is November so important to Los Angeles?
Well, because
I mean, tell me the difference between the two candidates that we have on the ballot.
Oh.
This is our Karen report. So
well, part of the Karen report, we know Karen. Karen has
Oops, that's the wrong one. This is the one we want. Say the
Because-
can report.
Karen report.
She's always been there on the right side of the issues. She has very been supportive of the health initiative. She worked real hard in Congress to pass a George Floyd vote. You know, when you think of Karen, you think of the work she's done with Community Coalition in the beginning, and then just to build up with the state, always a consensus builder, always someone that has fought for our community. On the other hand, the guy is a millionaire and only
Billionaire.
billionaire, and the only thing that he has built is he's built development or malls, but he has not built consensus. He has not been there where the people are, and so, like so many other billionaires, they run for these offices to get it so that they can. I'm not going to say what. I'm not going to say what he'll do.
They want to share the wealth with their
Share
other
their
rich
friend.
friends.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So I mean, we tell the truth here at Beyond the Walls, and you know, at the end of the day, November 8th is the election day. We look forward again to being a part of the coalition that Pastor Smart has assembled, and we look forward to again getting out the vote. I mean, we have so much beyond that. I mean,
Yes,
we have
sir. Yes,
a
sir.
DA that's being recalled.
Well, you know, there's going to be various educational campaigns, and you and I are going to be involved in one of them with John Paul and others to really educate the people of what Gascon has done. And
I mean, because, you know, what gets me, you know, folks can be so fickle sometimes. I mean, they said that we had a DA in Jackie Lacey that didn't do nothing. She didn't care about black lives or whatever it might have been. We need somebody progressive. And here it is, we bring in the most progressive
Yes,
Democrat
sir.
in this nation, in George Gascon, someone that's been a police officer, who worked in San Francisco, who was a fantastic DA there, relocated here to Los Angeles. He bring in progressive politics, and now they're saying, crime is up because of the DA. I mean, so there's so many different educational tools that we can utilize to really help, you know, people to really understand the concept between a progressive DA and a Jackie Lacey. It's pretty different.
And you know, the San Francisco DA really just got recalled, and he was on the progressive.
Oh, yeah, he got recalled by quite a bit.
Yes. So we don't want to have that here. And, you know, we also, you know, I told you earlier that it's like the slate that we're going to put together is a different type of slate, but it's going to be, you know, him, the DA, of course, Karen Bass, and Fazil Gill. You know, these are progressives, and it's time all around this criminal justice. We really have to take a long stand at that. So there's going to be a lot. Let me tell you a story that really I knew that we could be in trouble is because I saw several times when they had the petitions out.
For Gascon.
Gaston. You had Ari, Sister Ari, you had black folks that were signing them. I would stop them. I said, why at Target and Play, why are you signing? Do you understand you're signing against the current progressive DA? And they said, I don't know. They just told me to sign it.
They just won't get a job.
They just wanted the
Get a
signature.
75 cent per signature.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, but at the end of the day, regardless of the organizer, we have to do whatever we can to really educate, and we're going to really Beyond the Walls. We're going to utilize this platform and our connections with our faith community to really, really spread the word of the importance of voting, and not just voting for who we want. We want to give you a clear picture of who's for us and who's against us, who has been there for our community, and who we know might not be the right person for our community. So
Pastor, that's going to become a very important mantra for this season, because when you look around the country and many of these, for instance, the Democratic Party has not done everything in our best interest.
Right, I agree that.
But they are the party that is most akin to what we need. And when we talk about federal judges, we talk about the Voting Rights Acts, we talk about even Roe versus Wade. We talk about all of these opportunities and these things that are coming up. And so this party, I want to say movement or thought process is the one that best fits for us. And I know that's hard because at times I'm mad as hell at them.
I mean, we talk about, you know, the debacle of a few years ago in the White House, and how we, you know, rallied together just to galvanize the base, to vote in Joe Biden. And here it is. We're living in a time where gas prices are crazy, and inflation is at an all-time high. Individuals are literally blaming everything on Joe Biden. So when you're in office and when you're in control of certain aspects of government, it's going to fall on you.
Yes,
but
sir.
at the end of the day, as you say, if you look at the difference between the donkey and the elephant, the reality is we're better suited, with what?
The donkey.
With the donkey.
I mean, believe it or not, I heard at a convention some years ago, it was your
Reverend
lead-
Sharpton, I'm going to ride this donkey until it don't want to move no more.
I'm going to ride this donkey some more.
Amen. All right. I mean, when we talk about voting for young people, what do you think are some of the keys in really identifying with individuals your age?
I think one of the biggest issues is us being unaware. A lot of us are not plugged into the actual ideologies of, I guess you can say, government and voting and things like that. We only know what we see trending. So what we see that comes down our Instagram timelines, social medias, we aren't necessarily plugged into going finding out our own research, actually doing research to find out who these people are. Quite frankly, 9 times out of 10, people that are my generation or surrounding age ranges, our parents, for the most part, fill out ballots for them, send them in the mail. They never have probably opened or even looked at their ballot.
And so
Wow.
it's very important that we, continue to press our young people, help them to understand the excitement and the importance of voting.
And I think the way to do that is to get them involved.
And
Because
getting them involved. Getting
uh,
them involved and engaged and in front of the candidates, because they have a voice too. There's
the
some
catch,
things-
the catch with this generation is hands-on. So when they feel a part, they are more apt to share. They're more apt to talk about it. They're more apt to discuss it. They're more at will to do everything more when they feel like they actually have a voice.
And you felt a part. I mean, you helped lead many of the demonstrations that,
Right.
you helped
And so
oversee.
for me, things of that nature, because I haven't always been this where I am now.
Active.
Right. Within the past 3 years more so between, you, Pastor Smart, BMC, and everything else that has gone forth.
Pastor Smart. Oh.
He's with us for the most part. Don't do him like that.
I know, he's got to do that.
Got a little jealous.
Don't do him like that.
Don't
Hey,
little jealous,
it ain't
huh?
good to be a hater. Come out of that. But within those 3 years, it's made because I felt like, oh, well, now that I see what happens when you're actually out there, the impact that we made with the 1,000-man march and George Floyd, I think that was probably the highlight for me that made me actually realize that nothing changes until you actually get out there and basically force it to change, or you make it to change. And so if we could get that out more to my generation, get them more active, even with these press conferences, allow them to come out, allow them to ask questions. Quite frankly, they probably have a lot of questions, but they don't know who to direct them to.
So thank you, Ari, for that. I mean, at the end of the day, again, we're pushing individuals. November 8th is the general election. There's so much on the ballot, but the mayor's seat is on the ballot. And Pastor Smart, again, I'm happy that you're here with us today, because as we transition into the topic that you came in here to talk about,
Okay.
and that was simply, the civil rights movement of today and the church. What are the roles? What are some of the things that we need to be doing as a faith community and the civil rights community? I am a product of the faith community. I mean, many of you all know that. I'm Pastor, Reverend, Dr. KW Tulloss. I am a civil rights activist. I wear that badge of honor. And when we look at the history of the civil rights movement, most of our phenomenal leaders in the black community, from the Dr. Martin Luther King to Adam Clayton Powell to, Joseph Lowry to Raph Abernathy to, Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson to my boss, and my leader, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton.
Right.
You know, these are individuals that was based out of the church, and a lot of people think that we done did all that marching, as I already said. You know, we done marched enough. We done, you know, our communities have progressed. We're not where we once was. But what do you think is, when we think about the civil rights movement of today, of 2022, I mean, how can we in the faith community, you know, get back locked in together?
Well, you know, understanding part of the history, one of the things that my leader, Dr. Martin Luther King, analyzed was very carefully was the fact that there was three to four phases we had to go through as a people. Number one, we had to fight for part of the civil rights was fighting for African Americans to have the ability to register to vote. You know, getting rid of dealing with those poll taxes and anything they had to deal with.
Poll test,
tax, you name it. And then we had to fight to do that. Once you got them registered to vote, then you had to encourage them and get them to the poll at the particular time to vote. Once you did that, then you have to move them to be active in the electorate on the issues that are going to affect them. And voting for the right person, and then the fourth thing was to hold that person accountable. Today, there are axioms of this whole movement today. There are people, as Ari just said, there are in that sometimes people don't feel involved, they don't feel active, they have not been a way where they could have, you know, lobbied for those issues that are important to them. So part of what the civil rights movement wants to do now, today, and continue to do is to engage people because the fight is around issues. The fight, whatever it is, this issue that we have to that has to be enhanced to a way that it's germane to us. There are issues out there that moves from us getting in the right legislation in the state level, the right in the city level, or just in the nation. We have to fight for those things.
I'm glad you brought that up, because one of the greatest things that, greatest feeling that I've ever had as an activist was to change policy. You know, a lot of times people believe that it's just about raising your voice, standing before a camera. But, you know, what good is it to do all that and there's no policy being changed?
That's right.
Most of the time, Ari Sheree, well, the job of the activist, again, is to shine light on this situation.
Right.
But the end result is to change policy.
That's right. And Dr. King was really emphasizing, he said, it's not enough to just register, it's just not enough to protest. We have to work, get people in there to change policy. That's what the March of Washington was about. It was about jobs. It was about racism. It was about the things that we needed changed at that time, Sister Ari. And so that's why we were in the streets. I like to say, whenever you go in the streets, you got to be in the streets. You have to have a idea, and you got to have a conclusion that we're here to change a policy.
What do you think of those individuals that say, I'm just going to let Tulloss and Smart be my voice? What do you think about those individuals that just depend on us to, you know, bring action? Do people have a way? Is there a way for people to play their own part?
Yeah, we have to engage them more. Then we have to let them have a role. We have to make sure they understand the significance of that, because you know sometimes that's to our own detriment of just us being out there, and we get shot off, and I'm talking about shot off verbally or however, we're gone. But if there's more of a cadre of people in back of us or with us or on the side of us or in front of us. Recently, I went to 2 different actions where I was just I was just a fly on the wall almost, and I loved it.
Yes.
And people say, "You want to say something?" No,
No,
I don't have
I'm
to
there
say
to support.
anything. You know, I'm there to support. My issue is being addressed by you.
Now we because in my 25 years plus activism here in the city, working with the likes of Reverend Sharpton, working with the likes of Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson, Andy Young, just to name Joseph Lowry, working with these individuals, I saw the influx of a new birth of activism, particularly organizations like Black Lives Matter. What are some of the best practices? I mean, I think that, the organization has, kind of calmed down a little bit, but they are radical. They're radical.
Yes.
And it's a place for that, right?
Exactly.
So, it's not about just having a kumbaya. It's like that inside out approach.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm a member of Black Lives, as you know, and the important thing,
Black Lives Matter. I said, I didn't know you was Black Lives Matter. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The
Are you clergy for Black Lives?
Yeah, I'm that too. Yes.
Yeah.
And one of the important things about that is that from the very beginning, I looked at some of the leaders of that movement, and I said, as the president of SCLC, we're not going to engage in what happened between SCLC and SNCC in the day. I said, I just think, y'all are empowered. Y'all have a lot of our tradition. And there was a time when me and Jim Lawson was together at a forum just the weekend before the Trayvon Martin's decision. And we said, we were on the book panel, and we said that we are at a point now that we have to use any means necessary, get out in the streets and block the highways. And wouldn't you know it, 3 days later, they were in the streets blocking the highway.
Courageous.
Courageous.
And let me say this to you, and a lot of people don't know the history, of Black Lives Matter. I just so happen to be leading National Action Network at that time, Western Region. We held, after the Trayvon Martin verdict, we held probably the largest gathering of activists in the city of LA, right in front of the court.
Park.
The court building.
Okay.
Right there downtown Los Angeles. And their founder, Patrice, and one of the other young ladies was at our rally. And that's when I first started hearing the words, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. And so I often say that Black Lives Matter was birthed organically out of a local demonstration for this national crisis of the Trayvon Martin. A lot of people don't know that, but if you read Patrice's book, she makes mention of that. And I like to say I was the leader of that march of that particular day. And so we had.
So he started Black Lives Matter movement.
I didn't say that.
Hey.
I'm doing him like he does me.
Right.
I did not.
Right.
No, it was. I
He was,
just so
as
happened.
in real estate, he was the procuring cause.
No, I like to, I just like people to understand the history. Now, it's so much that they have done to really, really, really ruffle the feathers. I mean, and just their courageous.
They have to be you remember when they first started, they were in your face. They I think
They
it was
jumped in your face.
Huh?
You don't remember that Holman? Oh, that was Pastor.
No,
Salt.
that wasn't
Okay.
me. But they, they never jumped in my
look
face
like- you
because
look like-
we've always kind of seen things the same way. But one of the things they did is they got on that stage. Our nation on
Got on a lot of stages.
yeah, the first one was a debate that they had, the Democratic Party had, and Bernie Sanders, and they got in his face. They shut it down.
They shut it down.
And there are times, and you look in the manual of protest, shutting stuff down is
It's
something
okay.
that you have to do.
I mean, I've been to jail many days.
Yes, I've watched you go to jail.
Yeah,
I brought you.
and
I brought you into some
that's-
movements and
that's-
campaigns
that's-
where I stayed on the sideline
That's
where
the
you
point.
went to jail.
Well, you didn't have to steal my point. I'm just saying that in the midst of me going to jail. I see Pastor Smart on the sideline. I'll be here when you get out. You know,
Yeah.
Well, I was helping to get you out. You know, I had a role. My role was not to go to jail.
Right, you know,
But I
you got
just-
Somebody gotta stay on the
somebody got to be on the
I mean,
outside.
I mean,
to,
I know I'm the young activist, you know, in the city. I'm just wondering why, you know, y'all ain't going to jail. Why I'm the one on
Because somebody got to be on the outside.
I want to be on the outside. Why they ain't going to jail?
You know, one of the
I'm
things
just-
that happened to me, Pastor Howard, is I was in that first group of activists that went to jail in front of the South African embassy, and back in
Apartheid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
back in 1987, I think it was. And do you not know it has taken me up until 2018 for that stuff to finally clear from my record.
wow.
Wow.
Give a hand clap for Pastor Smart, because that means he can go to jail with me next time I go to jail.
That's it.
Don't give him some love. That's good. So he done told on himself. So if he's not going to jail with us for a good cause, like fighting for 15
Well,
and things.
and then I have to be like Pastor Smart, because I have to stand on the sidelines, because if I go to jail, then I'll lose my real estate license. So
no.
you know, I gotta, you know, say, okay.
Listen, I want you all to know that when I do go, I'm going to jail for a righteous cause, and at the end of the day, it's designed again to bring awareness to the disenfranchised, or those who are being overlooked within our community. But going back to the civil rights, Pastor Smart, talk to us a little bit about SCLC
Well, you know,
of Southern California,
yes, sir. You know,
because
we
you're doing
are
more work than anybody in the organization.
well. So
I'm thankful for you.
Thank you. You know, we have one initiative, the beloved community. We
Mm-hmm.
just think with what is going on right now, we with all the hatred and white supremacy and militarism and poverty,
Blatant.
that we need to start a movement, King's Old movement, that was focused on a beloved community where there wouldn't be any militarism, there wouldn't be any white supremacy, and there wouldn't be any poverty. And those things, and some now have added one more, you know, sustainability. And we think it's really important that we send a message. And so during the month of August, we're really going to be sending a message forward that, you know, it's time for us to work together, walk together, love together, and make the changes as a community together. So the beloved community is one thing. Then we have our part of our work with the SCLC Poor People's Campaign is feeding. We have
So let's hit this Poor People Campaign, because you're doing some amazing work, and I don't want this to be swept under the rug, because you're feeding thousands and thousands of people in Los Angeles right now.
Yes, this coming Saturday we'll be at Normandy Christian Center, where we'll be giving away, you know, toys. We were giving so many toys at Christmas that we have to still give them away, so that we'll have new toys coming in this Christmas. So we have that, you know, making Christmas in July, Christmas and, you know, all around, my sister. And so we're doing that. We got food, plenty of food. In fact, I got some guys waiting for me right now. So, you know, waiting for me right now. So we have to begin to pack up stuff for Saturday. And so I just want to encourage everybody tomorrow to come on out.
And give us the address to where you're giving away the food at. You said the Normandy Christian Center. Not only have they given out toys, not only have they given out food, but they've given out shoes, brand new shoes from that Van Dutch guy that they wrote a big story about on Netflix, Van Dutch. Go look it up when you get a chance. And you can see what kind of shoes they was giving out.
Yeah, yes, we'll be at the Normandy Community Worship Center, Pastor Lizelle Rogers, and that's 3801 South Normandy. Let me just tell you today, since it's tomorrow, that we're really, if you want to participate, the best thing to do is to pre-register. The number is 213-268-3082, but it's going to be a ton. And for our budget year, this is our last one this year, this budget year, and so we're going to July 15th. We're going to start with a new whole new. But we want to give away these toys
Yeah.
so that they can look in our warehouse and see they're gone. So more will come next year.
No.
So and there'll be other items also. We're giving away meals. We're giving away hot barbecue meals because it is the 4th, close to the 4th of July, and you'll get your groceries for the 4th of July.
So you're giving groceries and you're giving out hot meals.
Yes.
And you're giving out toys.
Yes, this is how our poor. This is just one aspect of the poor.
The
People's
beloved
campaign.
community.
Beloved community.
And this
Poor
is
People's
organizations that, civil rights,
Civil rights.
churches, civil rights groups are not as supported as they once was.
Right.
But here it is beyond the walls. When we think about ministry at its best, ministry means to serve. So
That's right.
for you not to say that the civil rights organization is not a ministry, I mean, look at the work that SCLC is doing. And it's not they're consistently doing it. They've been doing this for at least the last 5 or 6 years.
Yes. 9 years.
9 years, yeah.
Yes,
So, I want to thank kudos to you and your staff at SCLC for doing the amazing work. Meet me there tomorrow at the Normandy Christian Church. Give me the address one more time. Normandy Christian Church.
At 3801 South Normandy.
38th and Normandy. Get there, get you a barbecue dinner, get you some toys. He might have some shoes. He might have some groceries. But you can get you something. Get up and go get something. Go beyond the walls of your church,
Man.
your house.
And if you don't want it, share the word.
That's right. Everybody
Irene.
knows somebody that's hungry, that's looking for something. Get the word out. Pass it out.
There is, because of how we're funded, there is, you have to bring some form of ID and some form of what your income is. And that information, and then you're free to go.
You're free
but
to go.
we don't turn anybody down for the food at all.
Amen. And I want to say thank you for just the work that you're doing, man. And, like I say, civil rights and churches go hand in hand.
Hand in hand.
And it's very, very important and imperative that we support organizations like SCLC. You're doing amazing work. How do our listeners get in contact with you?
Well, they can, the number I just read, they can call that number and just say they want to speak to me, and after a while, it'll come to me in about an hour or so.
You'll call them back?
3082.
You'll call them back? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll call them back.
You call me back when I reach out to you like that.
Oh, well, you're different because I talk to you 4 times a day. So, if you, or they can email me at wsmart50@yahoo.com.
wsmart50yahoo.com.
Pastor Smart, I have a question for you.
Yes.
We made mention of, or you made mention of the qualifications for people to come out tomorrow. And just in case anybody is gathering information to share, we want to make sure that they're sharing accurate information. So the ID and then you said the form or some kind of.
Yeah, form, some type of, that tells us what you're making, a check stub.
Got you.
Or something, or you're from the city, from the county, whatever, those forms, something like that.
Yeah, so we want to make sure you get out, support SCLC on tomorrow. We have so much happening in the faith community this week tonight at Praises of Zion. We will be honoring an icon in Reverend Manuel Scott Jr. He will be honored tonight at 7 p.m. at Praises of Zion. So meet me there. I'll be there to give a welcome to all of his delegates from all across the world. And then on Saturday in the city of Carson, we're going to join Councilmember Juwan Hilton. They're having Samoa Heritage Day. Samoan Heritage Day at Forcia Park right there in Carson. If you're looking, Carson, Ari Sheree know how to put together a gathering. So it's Samoan Heritage Day. Amen. We're going to be out there in Carson. And then on Sunday. Sunday, of course, you can always find me at the Weller Street Missionary Baptist Church. Amen. But Sunday afternoon at 4 p.m., Amen. At 4 p.m., we will be celebrating Dr. Joe Louis Gates' 85th birthday.
Okay.
And they're putting together a celebration. Bishop Xavier Thompson and the Southern St. Paul Church are putting together a celebration for Dr. Gates, and yours truly, myself, will be the speaker of this occasion. So you all come on out, meet me at the Southern Church, and come say hello to Dr. Gates. And I know you got Raised to Praise right after this. I just didn't know if those two was in part of Raised to Praise. But Pastor Smart, any closing remarks for you today?
Oh, I just think we need the church community needs to embrace the civil rights community, because most of it was birthed out, the civil rights movement was birthed out of the black church. We have to understand, when you read some of the books of the old scholars and you talk about, even going back to E. Franklin Frazier's Black Church and some black religion and all the other seminal writings, they all said that they needed to exercise their faith in another way, and so they helped create the movement. And I could go on, but even the Progressive Church, and the reason the Progressive Church and the National Baptist Church of USA, their schism was all around civil rights, all around, what do we do? The fight between George Jackson and Martin King Sr. and all of that. But that was good and healthy for the church. The church needed to experience that it have birthing pains as it was birthing, Brother Howard, this movement of transformation of our people. We, as long as I'm on this program between now and November, I'm going to say, don't make any excuses not to vote. Black people, don't make any excuse. No. Your voting in America is crucial in this election.
Come on now.
Yes.
Man,
yes.
You sound inspired.
Preaching
you sound
now.
like a black man that went to Yale.
Y'all know he'll go there.
Listen. All right, Sheree, you have any closing remarks?
It's been good today, y'all. It's been good. Y'all make sure y'all get out to vote. Please remember to be at Normandy Christian Church tomorrow, 3801 Normandy. That's 38th and Normandy. They will be out there. Share the word, and we look forward to y'all being with y'all on another week next week.
Listen, Pastor Howard, thank you. Thank you, and Carol, for giving us this platform. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you for supporting us each and every week right here at the Raised to Praise studio in Los Angeles, California. Until next week, y'all, whatever you do, wherever you go, tell somebody to get up and get beyond the walls. We thank you, Pastor Smart. We thank you, Ari Sheree. We thank you, Pastor Howard. Shout out to Kay. Shout out to Tyron.
We miss y'all.
Miss you.
Until next week, get beyond the walls. God bless you. And may God keep you, is my prayer. We out.
We out. See y'all next week, y'all.
The camera's still on?